What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and it is preview day. No Sim, as he's on his way. Well, he's probably arriving in Glasgow right now. So we brought Scotland to the studio. We got Braze McLeod, we got Gav. How are we doing, brother?
Not bad.
Good to have you back.
I'll try in some way represent what the family's saying about Rangers. They're very excited for this game.
Yeah, I bet they are, and I think Ibrox is going to be buzzing. It's going to be an intense atmosphere.
Yep.
We'll get into the nitty-gritties of the game in a bit, but I guess let's start off with predicted lineup, and then we can delve deep into what we think is going to happen on the pitch. It's a dodgy one. It really is a dodgy one tomorrow. You look at the injuries coming into it. We got.
I feel like you're starting to use smaller and smaller print for these words to get them on the screen.
Literally. So you got Jed Spence eligible, Romero out for the next 6 weeks, Richarlison hoping to be back early January, Odegaard hoping to be back February, Vicario February as well, Mikey Moore, who knows what's going on with Mikey Moore, Ben Davis, not too sure either, he's out, and Mickey van der Ven going off, which we thought was cramp, but we're not so sure at this moment in time. He's going to be a doubt going into the game. And regarding Mickey van der Ven, if he's any sort of doubt, surely he can't play.
Yeah, because what it is like when a player gets a hamstring or a thigh, is there's a time out, but then there's a time to recover, and it's about load. And what you can see clearly happened is they haven't built the load up enough for him to be able to come on. So obviously, Ange said he was only going to have 70 minutes, but then should you even be risking a player like? And then it's not a case of Ange would have just probably left him on longer, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that he went down. And so for me, it's like he wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready.
When you saw him go down, though, did you feel like it was cramp, or did you? Because a lot of people in the stadium, that's it, his hamstrings have gone again.
Well, as a football player, when you're coming back from a hamstring injury and you get cramp, you think your hamstring's gone again. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So he would have been just devastated, But you could see the way that he sat down. It was like, can't take any more of this.
Because he didn't go down the tunnel. He just went straight and sat down.
But this is the problem with our kind of medical team, is that I guess it all comes from the fact of having a light squad, and they are getting shouted at a lot, like he's got to be ready. They feel like they've got to have a player ready, and then you just aren't giving them enough attention. You're not building the load and getting them like, okay, can he do 4 or 5 sessions without a problem? Can he do a bleep test without any problem?
Can anyone Spurs at the moment do a bleep test without any problems?
Yeah.
But look, in goal, we will go with big Fraser Forster, obviously. How impressed have you been with Fraser Forster since coming in?
I think he might be goalkeeper of the month. Have you seen anyone make as many saves consistently as him?
The only other one I'd probably say, but then he let in a clanger on the weekend, was Andre Onana of Manchester United. I think he's been brilliant.
And I would have said Kelleher until he let the ball go.
Yeah, exactly. So Fraser's actually done it without any mistakes. So
yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes, but he's not been punished. But as in just shot stopping, he's been pretty amazing. Very surprising, because he was like the one guy everyone was like worried about. But
I know when Vic's injury gets announced, everyone's just losing their shit. They're just like, oh my god, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Fraser Forster in for the foreseeable. But
even going down low, because he made a really good double save against Chelsea going down low to his left. So everyone was like, you can't fault him for when a player hits a worldie into the corner off the post.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Right back is an interesting one, because
God, I shudder to think.
I don't know what we're going to do at right back, because obviously Spence can't play. Surely it's going to have to be Porro, and Porro's not going to get a rest, because I feel like Archie Gray is probably going to have to be needed at centre back.
Absolutely. So it's going to have to be Porro, but the problem is Porro is already starting to look leggy. He's great when he is rested and he can go running up. But you're starting to see more and more mistakes creep in, more and more positional stuff. He's getting that wrong just because he's tired,
The Roma game and the Fulham game, I mean, he was shocking. I thought it was a bit of a step in the right direction in the last game, but still, he wasn't up to his usual self, was he?
And the way that Rangers play with the 2 main threats they have doesn't look good. For how we play our inverted fullbacks and how Ange has been playing them, I'm not looking forward to this.
Right centre back, I'm guessing it'll be Radu. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got a lack of options there. So Radu, right centre back. Have you been impressed with him?
Yeah, to be
since
fair,
coming in.
You know, for the situation to come in some big games, I think he's done all right. It's strange that he does really well when he has Ben Davies there. It's like they almost have a really good communication between them. And I thought he was doing really well with Van de Ven. Like the two of them were going up above the halfway line, winning challenges high. I feel like that's the way he wants to play, but it's always difficult for a player like that who kind of thinks as soon as, you know, Romero's back, I'm not in. So he doesn't feel like... He's really got to step up and go, this is my position now, because you're the guy.
Do you think, though, even if he does that, even if he does do that and has that mentality, Romero's still going to come back in the next game? Isn't that disheartening for a player?
Yeah, but then, like, Ange, this is one thing I do agree with Ange, where he's like, a lot of this stuff is in the hands of the players. Like, if he trains well and he goes out and makes it show, then, you know, like people were saying that. He had a couple of really good games, and it was like, the question was, does Romero even come in?
Yeah, I was saying Dragoshin deserves to stay in. And look, he's got the next 6 weeks now, that's for sure, so we know that.
Yeah, just make it your own. Just his problem is sometimes like just it's not really the defending, it's the rashness on the ball. You know,
his proactive defending over the last couple of weeks has got a lot better, so I've got to give him a lot of credit. The other centre back is going to have to be Archie Gray in terms of the numbers. Archie, I mean, he's really good on the ball, but I worry against him in a really physical game, which will be at the Ibrox.
Yeah, and also, if you've ever play, if you play in different positions, it's cool. You kind of like, he has a really good understanding of the game and positional, but like, don't you just feel for him like getting constantly moved around into all of the positions other than the one that's his?
What do you think about that, though? Like, as a player of Archie's age, trying to make his name in the game, just coming to a team like Tottenham, like moving around in position, will that do good in terms of for his future and development? Or does a player of that age need to just constantly be playing in their position and learning that role?
Ideally, but that's if his position's been decided. And the thing, when you are 18, your position hasn't really been fully decided yet. But the fact that he's got so much favour with every manager he plays for to be able to use as a versatile player is good. I feel like you could put him most places on the pitch and he'll do well. But it's when you come up against a team who, in a heightened game like this, in a stadium like what he's going to play in, this is going to put a lot of these young players like minds to the sword. You know, can you like constantly watch your back and control the game ahead of you, you know, under a high pressure situation? This is going to be the making of a player here. You know, if he does really well, wow, you know.
I guess it's a bit similar to the Galatasaray game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a very intense atmosphere and in a different kind of vibe to what you've been playing in, week out.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit different, actually, at Ibrox. So I think they'll be getting probably a lot more abuse at Ibrox than they did at Galatasaray.
That's what I mean. It's like, can they stand up to the noise? It's close into the pitch. Every single mistake he makes, they're going to rip at him, you know? Like that's really what it's going to come down to. But has he showed you in any way that he doesn't have what it takes to play in different positions?
No, definitely not. I've been really impressed with Archie Gray ever since coming in. His silkiness on the ball, his calmness on the ball, his way he can wriggle out of pressure. Yeah. I feel like with Archie Gray, it's like a bit of a common theme with him every game where he starts off a bit nervy and a bit ropey, but then he grows into the game in quite a big way.
The difficulty of being left-sided centre-back, he is right-footed, and the fact that if anything, Foster's problem is how he passes to a player. Like he doesn't really get, he's right-footed or left-footed, put it this side of him. So Archie's going to have to do so much calculations every time the ball comes to him. So you're going to have to get him like really on the ball early.
Yeah. Left back, again, another player who seems to be overplayed at the moment is Destiny Udogie. Not having his best season, in my opinion. I think he needs to brush up on his one-on-one defending, that's for sure. And I felt like in the game on the weekend against Chelsea, I thought he was brilliant first half. Yeah. But then he kind of vanished out the game second half. He got destroyed down that left-hand side, and that defending for the Parma just absolutely rinsed him, didn't he? Yeah. But look, he's going to be needed in this game.
That's the problem again when you're overworked and you know you're good for 45 minutes, but then when your legs go as a defender, especially in the roles they're needed, because they're needed to push, you know, they're needed. He has to gamble a lot of time when he's like, maybe there's a 50-50 just inside like the halfway line. He's got to go for that. But if he loses out, that's it. That whole side's done.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's so much on the line to like not be able to give a player like him a rest, and he's gotten it. He's got injuries. You could see he's kind of like trying to manage himself on the pitch. It is really like shit's creek for a lot of these players because they know that they're struggling. There's not much they can do. You know what I mean? If their legs go, they kind of just have to run slower. And you know.
I do feel for Destiny because he had that mad injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he ripped his quads or he had a quad injury, right?
Yeah.
And he had surgery. He came back, and as soon as he came back, because of the lack of options, he just needed to play every single game. And like, we haven't given him that kind of bedding in period. We've just thrown him to the wolves, kind of thing.
Yeah. And this is where all our problems keep coming from, is that no one comes back in having given their load the right amount, and so you're ready to go. And like, yeah. So your part of your brain is going, yeah, I'm ready for this. You're not. You're going, I hope it doesn't go again.
Yeah.
How can you play football like that?
Yeah.
You know?
100%. In the number 6, it will be Rodrigo Bentancur. He hasn't played too much of late, obviously, because of the ban. So I guess it's a positive thing that he's going to be fresh coming into this, and we're going to need him.
He's going to have to control this game. He really is. His opposite positional player is someone who is very good at like making things happen from his position. So I think he's going to really have to like step up here. We need him to make up for the fact that he's missing these games. Yeah. He should be looking at like this game like, oh God, this is it. You know, like Under the Lights at Ibrox is a big game in Europe. Like because it's going to be hella difficult with the amount of abuse that the height of the game. Also, both teams kind of need to win the game, you know. So like we need a big time player, and Bentancur. I love him and I want him to stay and I want him to get back, but he's in these moments he's got to show. He's really got to put the doubt out of people's minds. He's got to have a cracking game, the whole game. He's not coming off. We can't bring him off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, you know, with Bentancur, he is one of the more senior players in the squad now. You know, he's been involved in big games, you know, starting in the 6 and the 8 for Juventus over a number of years. So when you're talking about someone that should be able to guide someone like Archie Gray through the game, he should be that guy.
He's got to talk very clearly. Look at the triangle of players there. You got Radu, Gray, both maybe a little nervy sometimes at the start of games.
Yeah.
He's really got to calm them down because he has to give them a way out every time, you know. So he's really got to do that, man. He's really got to like have his head in the game.
I think those positions on the pitch kind of pick themselves. Where it gets a bit tricky is the next two central midfielders because you've got Pape Sarr, you've got Lucas Bergvall, who I think has come on the last couple of games, looked really good. Yeah, you've got James Maddison, and you've got Bissouma, but I think Bissouma gets a rest this game. So what are we thinking for these? I think Bergvall definitely starts, actually.
I think Bergvall's earned it. But the most interesting thing is that Bergvall's come on and been really good in the 6. Just the way he's picked up the ball, moved it well, like really nice turns, controlling the way everything moves from there. Like it's interesting because it might be something where you push Bentancur up, but I think you need Bentancur in the 6 because of this experience and you know you don't want Gray and Bergvall so close because they probably aren't like great communicators just yet. So having him, you have him more as the creative.
Well, if Bentancur is going to play the 6, then I think maybe Bergvall. It depends who plays the other one, but I'm assuming James Maddison will probably take the other spot in a more creative role. So maybe Bergvall can play. Yeah.
Because I think he's got legs. I think he's heavy in a tackle. I think he's good in a tackle, and also I think Sarr needs a rest as well. God, Sarr needs a rest.
100%. Maybe you play them two in a double pivot.
Could do, yeah. Because I think the style of play has to be really where you're going to get your Flowers is pressing the Rangers back 4 in the centre. So maybe you do put them, you know.
It's a big opportunity for him nonetheless. And I think when you're looking at Decky, when you're looking at Sarr, both of them just need a rest. I know Decky did get one, but was needed in the latter stages of that Bournemouth game. But Maddison didn't start against the Chelsea game, so he should be relatively fresh. Last time out in a intense atmosphere in Galatasaray, Maddison had the captain's armband on. I thought he was terrible. We need a big performance from Maddison, don't we?
100%. You know, like, it's weird. I always wonder, like, what is Maddison thinking? You know, because he knows he's a big player, you know. But, like, coming on games with 10 minutes to go, he to be fair, he came on and he did a lot of really nice things. Lovely work to set up Sonny. but he's really got to like start this game and control it, you know, and like be the creative force that we think he should be, you know. Like I find like he's been hiding, and I don't. He should be fresh. Like, why is he hiding in games? You know, like, yeah. So I think that to me looks like a strong, creative midfield.
In terms of the right wing, I guess there is only one option in Brennan Johnson, and I think in a game like this, Brennan Johnson has got to be stamping his authority on that right-hand side. I know he gets goals. He's got 10 goals this season, but too often he goes through games, doesn't he?
Yeah. Was it just a bug or something? Was it he was sick? Why did he go off the other night?
Yeah, he said he was suffering from illness before the game, and he said,
Right.
I think he was fine to play, but then it got a bit too much for him.
So he should be fine then.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Brennan in big games though is someone who kind of goes a little bit missing, and then he might pop up with a goal, but it's like, where were you for the rest of the game? You know.
Yeah, but I guess having said that, the hardest thing in this game is to put the ball in the back of the net, and he does that.
And the good thing about him is some of his passing, some of his like that final ball has been actually really good. He is also young. He's also played a hell of a lot, and for his output, I don't think we can.
You can't complain.
you know what I
Can't
mean?
complain. No. What I do want to see more of his output is assists. He did that. He got a lovely assist against Chelsea, didn't he? Put it on the money for Dom Solanke. He needs to be doing that more because he's got it in his locker.
Yeah, and also Dom made the right run that time across the defender to the front post. You know, like, and then for him to read that, also he was pointing. So that communication worked, and it needs to work a lot more.
Do you feel like he will persist with Dom in this game? Because out in Galatasaray, he started Will Lancashire. Will Lancashire obviously got sent off and scored a goal that day. Served his suspension against Roma. Who starts the number 9?
We need to win this game. I think you go with Dom.
But then again, you can't. Dom's been playing pretty much 90 minutes every. He didn't play against Fulham out of injury.
Yeah.
You're asking a lot of Dom Solanke to play every single game in this Christmas period. Because you can't rest him against Man United in the Cup, right? You're not going to rest him in any of the Premier League games.
Yeah.
So when is he going to get that rest?
I just don't think he's going to get a rest. Can you tell me that Ange is going to rest him?
This is the only game I can see it. Unless, after the turn of the new year, we got Hoffenheim, we got Elfsborg, maybe in those games. But I get what you're saying. We need to win this game. But Lancashire maybe showed in the Galatasaray game that, he can prove his worth because he got on the score sheet.
So would you start Lancashire, and if we aren't, because I think we need to press high, and we don't have a lot of time in the legs for the press. You see against Chelsea, we had 15 minutes, and then we couldn't press anymore. I think you would need to start really fast, try get 2-3 goals, and then hope and hang on for dear life for the rest of the game.
So you start Dom Solanke and maybe hope for take him off after the hour mark or something.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd go for. But I would love to see Will get more time than just 10 minutes. But
all right, we'll go for Dom. And on the left-hand side, it's either Sonny or Timo. I got a feeling it will be Timo.
It's got to be Timo.
Yeah.
I'm really getting tired of this chat of, Sonny's done or his legs are gone. He is 32, but he is overrun. He came back from an injury and he's playing 90 minutes every game. It's almost cruel. And you can see the first 10, 15 minutes against Chelsea, he ran, we pressed heavy. But then you could see he took up a compromised position. You can see a player is worried about their legs. He didn't go out and he didn't come too far in. He halfway, so he could kind of get to here and kind of get to there. He was buying time. He played the rest of the game. He was buying time, and every time the ball came to him, he didn't want to take a touch and do something. He just wanted to get the ball away. You can tell a player is worried about his legs, and then he bought the time, and then he did do things on bursts that were really good. But that's not a guy whose legs are gone. That's a guy who is getting run to the wire. Who knows? I can't get injured here. I've got to bide my time.
Yeah.
I hope he plays Werner. God, I hope he does.
And Timo, as much as anyone, whatever you want to say about Timo, I think he's been all right.
I think seeing him as consistent as we have, I actually think he's getting on the ball. He's burning defenders. He was amazing in both City games. I think for a game like this, for what we need to do is press high and then really get in behind. I think he's perfect. And also, we need to see Sonny get some rest.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're looking at this team, you've got Fraser Forster in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Destiny Udogie left back, Archie Gray and Radu at the back, with Maddison, Bentancur and Lucas Bergvall in the middle three, Brennan on the right, Timo on the left, and Big Dom Solanke up top. I mean, I'm quite comfortable with that team apart from the back line. I think apart from Radu, Pedro and Destiny being overplayed, Archie Gray at centre-back, you don't really want him there. So I think that's where we're going to get caught if we're going to get caught this game.
And we're going to find out.
Yeah.
we're going to find out how that back line does with it. But as in from like midfield to attack, I think, that's aggressive.
He is aggressive, and I think it's definitely a team that can take the game to Rangers. And like you say, you want to see the team go 1-2-0 up early doors. Yeah. And with Brennan and Timo and Solanke pressing from the front, forcing Rangers into mistakes, that's definitely a team that can do that.
But that's what you want to see. Is you want to see a little bit of respect from Ange to he'll understand that playing Rangers on a European night is a big deal. It's like the kind of Old Firm game. But you hope that he does have the idea of, if we are winning the game easy, that he realises that players are burned and that you probably should then come out second half, not completely give the game away, but set and counter. Play how we played. Let them come on. Because once they do go for it, they go for it. And so you can then win the game by a lot.
Well, that is the lineup that we're going for.